Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above from your sibling spirit guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey Maureen, hey everyone, this is Brian.
Hello, Brian. We're so happy to be here. If you can believe it, on this podcast, we share daily channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And boy, Brian, this is a topic I love. New star beings. I we pulled this one together because we're proceeding to put together volume 2 of our book. And Brian, we forgot about these sessions. We've got a Renegade Pleiadian group and sea creatures related to African mythology. How could we forget about this?
Yeah, I know there's so many. It's hard to keep track of all the different groups that have come through. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad we uncovered this and can share it with all of you.
Yeah. So it's really exciting, and we do hear from so many different sorts of beings. Do you want to kick us off with the first group, which is a Renegade Palladian group? That's something I've never heard of.
Yeah, I know. What makes them renegade? I don't know. Interesting. But okay. This was from May 30th of 2024. Dearest one, we wish to regale you with stories of our illustrious past. You may wonder who it is that's speaking. We come forth from a different blue planet, the planet within the Pleiadian cluster that has not yet been identified by your astronomers. Our planet is small and difficult to see. It hides behind one of our larger moons. We come forth to bring you stories of the gods that ruled your Earth. These came from a sister planet of our galactical universe. We hail from areas that are not so different from what you experience in your 3D reality. We too came from worlds lush with abundant, verdant plants and animals. Although the nature of our beasts and the color of our plants differed from what you experience on Earth, we considered you to be residing on a sister planet. In this way, we endear ourselves to those whom we can easily communicate with. We are part of the larger Palladian control group. We see ourselves as renegades from the larger empire, as our individual goals often differ from the group's mindset held within the locality of our region. For this reason, we are often inspired by heroes of pure mythical stories, which were based often in fact. Our favorite is the Epic of Gilgamesh. We live to see Gilgamesh on his illustrious mighty adventures. In the same way a human life can be likened to a heroic quest, there are romances to be had, individual states to be conquered. And then, so you put in a note that the Epic of Gilgamesh was one of the oldest works of literature in the world that dates back to 2100 BC. And it was written in the ancient language of Babylon, and it follows the adventures of King Gilgamesh on his search for immortality. Let me pause there. So you know more about Gilgamesh than I do. I've heard of him, and I know was a king outright, but I don't know much about him. Anything else you want to add there?
Oh, so I read the Epic of Gilgamesh, and yeah, and so what I find fascinating is one of the oldest works of literature in the world. We're talking 4,000 years old, and they lived to see Gilgamesh on his mighty adventures. So that's astounding. And it is also interesting how, I've often heard that's often talked about how we are, sister states with the Pleiadians. And so it is interesting that that's what they refer to us to as a sister planet, that they come from a blue planet that is in many ways very similar to our blue planet. So yeah, what do you think about that first half of the
Well, aren't there, I mean, there's a lot of Palladians that are incarnated in Earth, right? I mean, they Isn't that, I don't know, we've heard about this in a lot of different things we've read and encountered. And yeah, I think don't you know some people that were Pleiadian, or I
Yeah.
don't,
We actually recently did a session. We actually have one whole podcast just on Palladian
oh, that's
communication.
right. That's right.
And then recently we did a podcast where we talked about the Palladians, and they were saying that they're the healers on the planet. And I do know a woman who's a friend of mine, and yeah, she realized like probably when she was like 21 that she is Palladian, and she's incredibly gifted as a healer, an energy worker, a light worker. So yeah, there are, apparently a lot of Palladians here. But yeah, so it's fascinating. I'll go on with the rest of this message. It says, "We bring to the forefront of your attention the extraordinary ability that you and your brother have to sense the vibrations that surround you. Instead of being passive and receiving these vibrations, you can master them and utilize them for your benefit. How do you do this? If your energetic frame is like a sponge, instead of soaking up the surrounding energetic forces, you could, and then I interrupt and I'm seeing a visual, so I'm relating the visual I'm seeing. And what I saw was like a toroidal field that surrounds our body. And there's a channel that goes up our spine and to suck in the energetic forces like a straw. And I asked them, is this correct? They said, this is an apt analogy for when you soak in the surrounding energy, it enters your vibration, whether it's positive or negative. By utilizing the straw motif, you can have it circulate through your body as it would be filtered. In this way, you can engage in a way that can be likened to a locomotive to provide energetic forces. We say no longer be passive in feeling the energy, whether it's strong negative energy with a lower vibration or higher. Both have a power that you can utilize by visualizing the toroidal field around your body and gaining from the energy that surrounds you. We liken this experience to sitting in front of your television and expecting the television to turn on without touching a button. The energy that surrounds you can be utilized to harness and enhance your energetic frame. In this way, you shall no longer be in danger of losing your life force through the surrounding energies. You know what I think of, Brian? I just flew back to the United States, and boy, you're just dealing with so many different energies in airports and airplanes, and I totally forgot about this. But I've got to utilize that straw analogy and filter all of the energies that are around me. What do you think?
It reminds me of a couple things. So the toroidal field or whatever it's called is mentioned, something like that's mentioned in, I can't remember which book, one of Drunvalo Melchizedek's books about the heart, right? And using thinking of that field and accessing the heart. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I do.
And
I think the toroidal field could actually be the Merkaba.
right, and that's the other thing I was gonna say, the Merkaba, because on the Merkaba meditation, and part of it, you're bringing energy from below and above through your energetic frame, and it reminds me a little bit of that too. So that's what I was gonna say too. So yeah, those are both things that I thought of that aligned with this message.
Yeah, and let me just talk about the Merkaba for those who we haven't covered this in a while, but if you're not familiar with it, it's two. I think that's what they're talking about with the toroidal field. It's two in an inverted and right up. How would you describe it? Like a
Tetrahedron,
three-dimensional.
hedron it's called. I think it's
Yeah.
tetrahedron.
And the ones, and this is actually how, like, when you become an ascended master or an enlightened being, this is actually how they travel. Like, they don't need a spaceship, they don't need an airplane. They travel with their Merkaba, and it's something that you can activate. And yeah, so it's just very, very interesting. I'm definitely going to use that straw motif when you can feel it, when you're around a lot of chaotic energy and a lot of different kinds of energy. We're getting into, the holiday season, and there's a lot. If you go out to a shopping center, there's just a lot going. Do you want to pick all that up? No. So, so yeah. Do you want to go on to the next one, which is Arctic beans?
Sure. So June 1st of 2024, dear one, we have indeed entered this realm in order to communicate with you and your brother. We hail from the icy northern realms of this planet. We use the cold to deter visitors. Interesting. We reside within the snowy plains that exist in these Arctic regions. We come forth now as an opportunity presents itself, which we seize. We work with the brotherhood of the divine holy light. Our auras are pure, radiant light. If you were to be in our regions, you could not discern our physical beings from the massive glaciers and icy snowpacks. Your government of the United States, France, Germany, and England, and a consortium of European powers consult with us frequently. Isn't that interesting? However, we care not for the divisive warfare they wage upon each other. Such actions belittle the wholeness of the one Creator. We ask that you keep ourselves free from these harmful dialectical politics, which benefit the few, not the whole. We see you rest in a peaceful state to receive our words. That is all. So, yeah, it's interesting how these different beings and have are in contact with these governments, or actually what we've mentioned before, there's like a, I don't know, a true government that's really in charge. But anyway, it's just something that I think most people would be shocked at. But again, nothing shocks me anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what it reminds me of, do you remember what was the book that we read about the Rurik's? Nicholas and Helena Rurik. I can't remember what you recommended a book to me about them.
It's not ringing a bell.
They are like they were the founders of like an enlightened movement like 150 years ago. And
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and they talked about what really, like, I think they went to Roosevelt, and they worked with Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, I went to his in this book. It said that, if you go to his museum, he has a museum in New York City, and it's free. That the energy from the artwork, like, it just has a lot of energy that you can absorb. And in that museum in New York City, he has all of these paintings where it's like beans in the snow, that it's exactly what this is describing. Like, you can kind of make out like a face and a body in the snow, but I'm guarantee you, Nicholas Roerich met with these Arctic beings, and he put it in his artwork, which is in New York City if you ever have to go to, yeah, Nicholas Roerich. Do you remember that book? I can't
Yeah,
remember
it's
what
not and it's like in a strange area. It's not like it's in Manhattan, but it's way north, right?
it's on the Upper West Side. But yeah, it's a really interesting museum, and it was a fascinating book.
Yeah, they said that like that museum holds the power for the whole like section of this world or something. I was like something, it's like something amazing. It all stems from this museum. So it's something that's hard to
Yeah.
fathom, but it's
I
really
don't
fascinating.
I don't go to New York City often, but from now on, whenever I'm going to go to New York City, I'm going to go to the Upper West Side to this museum. It is very interesting. So that's what it reminds me of. And I swear to you, he met these Arctic beings, which would hardly not be a surprise at all, because he and his wife worked with a lot of the real powers on this planet.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I'll go into the next one, which is, gosh, Brian, you say you're never surprised. I am surprised. Beings related to the mythology of Zanzibar, Tanzania. Okay, this came about because I was actually in Zanzibar, Tanzania, but this is from June 5th, 2024. Dearest one, we indeed to come rushing forward to connect with you in this time space. We are in your room, though you shan't see us, for we are cloaked within the white walls of your abode. The waters that you see before you are indeed teeming with alien life forms. And I just have to break up because the water where I was, it just was so crystal clear and turquoise. Like it was really, really beautiful. It said these creatures are embedded in the mythology of Zanzibar. So then I looked up, like, what are the mythology of Zanzibar of beings in the water? And there's a lot of them. There's a mermaid of Zanzibar who was kind of like sirens who caused a lot of chaos and destruction for sailors and caused shipwrecks. And the people of Zanzibar used to protect themselves, asked a seer to intervene on their behalfs. They also believe in jinns who can travel by the sea. There are myths of sea creatures who are like sea serpents, who they call Naomi. And there are also beliefs of benevolent spirits called Watatu, who protect fishermen. So who knew? Who knew, Brian?
Interesting. And that was all of their message, right? That was it. There was
No,
nothing.
then they go on, they say, we come forth now as the brethren of the holy light to ensure all remains in peace and harmony. We are the candle holders of the divine flame, monitoring all life forms for the divine spark and ushering those who can no longer sustain this ignobious spark of the one creator into the hallowed halls of rehabilitation. I just got to stop there. I mean, they're talking about death there,
Yeah.
which is just really interesting to think of death as not transitioning from this life, but transitioning to the hallowed halls for rehabilitation.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So do you want to finish off the
Yeah, I'll
message?
finish off. So it says, then they go on to say, for now, we turn to the subject of leaders who have led this world astray. The choice between two insufficient candidates sh should not be entertained. The better solution would be to hold and envision a leader like your present teacher or ascended master, someone you look up to, a father figure, a priest or priestess, someone ignoble and something of your loving devotion to see this person as the rightful heir to the thrones of power is the better situation for this planet. For now, we return to our heavenly abode and shall watch over lovingly the brother and sister. We urge devotion to these important messages and words as they imbue a resonant signature that activates those who hear this call. We thank you for your dutiful attention, and we turn now to other pressing matters. Interesting how so what do you think about they're not they don't approve of our elections, and frankly, not many people do these days with two two parties, and really a lot of times people don't like either candidate. So anyway, I like their solution. Maybe someday we'll be there.
Yeah, I think there was a South Park episode when they had one horrible name for one candidate and another horrible name for another, it was candidate. And literally that's, usually what you're entertaining in an election. Yeah, so the better solution is to hold an envision of your present teacher or ascended master. Can you imagine having an ascended master as a political leader? Brian, oh my God, imagine that world.
Yeah, I'll sign up for that world, definitely.
So I'll go on with the closing, which is star beams from Orion from December 18th, 2023. It says, Dearest one, we hail from the cluster of stars known as Orion. We are here to provide ready wisdom. Now we shall proceed with our original intent, which is to convey the love and the light of our extended brethren who will soon be joining us on a mission beyond the realms from which you can see now. We shall soon assist in making greater inquiries into the deeper aspects of the one Creator. For all who seek the answers, they are within. However, sometimes to extend one's journey outward reveals the greater truths. One cannot see in a familiar land. We have much to reveal. Good night, little one. I love that. One cannot see in a familiar land, right? That's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
truth.
that's what we've had so many messages about, like getting out of your routine and stay and going, like you're doing, going to different places, experiencing new things, and just, getting out into the world and not just being in a routine and a rut is a consistent message that we have. And I think that's what they're speaking to. But getting, you can't see in a familiar land the greater truth. So I love that message.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, on my recent travel back from Nepal, I met a woman. Age is age is no barrier. Met a woman who was 78, and when I was in Pokhara in Nepal, the big thing to do is hang gliding, which I did not do. I opted not to do, and she did it. 78.
Love it.
She was traveling by herself back. It's like God bless her. I mean, God bless her. Inspiration to us all.
Definitely. That's living, I mean, talk
Yeah.
about, I mean, I love doing that sort of stuff, and everybody trying unexpected things, and, not giving into fear, and just that totally sounds like an amazing life. I'd love to meet that woman.
And the other thing I will tell you, I just met somebody on the MARTA, the train system here in Atlanta. And we were talking about the vast difference as you age, and she did not look 78 at all. But she's out there, she's trying new things. She's, you know what I mean? She's vibrant. And so it just the energy, the vibrancy of her being was, nowhere near what I would expect 78 to be. So it's good for you. Next time Brian, you got to be there and push me off the cliff.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked about, I mean, really age is a mindset too. I mean, it's really is a mindset. So if you can do anything at any age. So I love hearing that.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, everyone.